Right, Iran. So today we're going to discuss about ethical use of AI for your research because now we know that everyone is using generative AI for everything, right? Even writing email, even writing doing assignment, even writing a letter, and for everything now we are using AI. Okay, so then in research also you can do the same because now it's a trend and it's a when the technology is available, we should use it. That's my idea. So children, it is okay to use all these AI tools and everything in your research project as well. Even we discuss or not, we know that you are using, but there must be an ethical way of using that one. Just not just copy and pasting all the content from AI generated answers into your research thesis. There must be a way of ethical using, right? So then today in our session, we are going to discuss what are the techniques that you have to follow in using AI in your research, and how we can use that ethically in our research, because that's a academic assessment that you have to do. Okay, children, let's go one by one. So again, if you have any questions while I'm doing the session, you can ask anytime, right? Okay, first let's think about what's the research and how you're gonna do that. So I think you will have a good idea about conducting a research because you have followed the subjects relevant to that one, like research methodology and everything. And again, we have gone through several workshops as well about how to select your topic, how to conduct, plan your proposal, and again about qualitative research as well. So children, in this session, in this workshop, I'm going to take two topics as example, because through this one we are going to practice. And children, at the same time, you have your own topics with you, so you can also practice when I'm just conducting the session. So you can just do it and see, right? So then only you will learn. So then be ready with your research topics, and if you have opened this one in your mobile phone or something, be ready your laptop as well. Then you can practice the things that we're going to discuss at the same time, right? Okay. Sharon, the first topics that I'm going to consider is impact of remote work practices on employee productivity in the IT industry. So that is the quantitative topic that I'm going to discuss. Again, the qualitative topic is factors affecting to the work-life balance of IT professionals in the Sri Lankan tech firms. So that is the qualitative topic. So children, I'm going to take these two as the examples, right? So then what you can do is you can take your own topic to practice the things that we're going to discuss. Okay. So children, I'll go with the first one. So when it is so you must have an understanding how this topic is generated. What are the content of the topic, right? So then first we understand how the topic is composed, right? So in every topic of yours, I'll take the quantitative one first. So every topic of yours has several components, right? So in this quantitative topic has independent variable, dependent variable, population, context, and the nature of study, right? Those are the those are the main components of it, right? So then you must identify each of these component in your research topic, and then when you're going to search data, search facts about your research, that is what research mean actually. You are going to search, you're going to read, and you're going to search. So then when you're going to search separately, you have to do some research, do some search. Then about the independent variable, you have to search separately, because we're going to discuss about our independent variable in the introduction section, right? Again, you're going to discuss about dependent variable in the in the research problem as well, right? So like that, depending on the section that you're gonna work with, you have to consider different part of this topic. So then let's see how we can do that using these AI tools. Okay, so then I think you can understand like every topic consists of these concepts, these facts. So then to make your topic a correct one, you can now think with your topic. So check whether your topic has this content, right? So let's discuss how it is built up with. So it must have a dependent variable. So here you can see remote work. That is the independent variable, not the dependent, right? Independent variable. So remote work impact on something, that is a dependent variable. So employee productivity, remote work practices, sorry, remote work practices on employee productivity. Then the population, IT industry of Sri Lanka, employees in the IT industry, right? Context, Sri Lanka, and nature of study is impact. We are going to find the impact of our independent variable on the dependent variable in the population in the context. Right. I'll give you few minutes, just you can go through your topic and you can understand what are these components are available in your topic, right? If not, you can revise the topic or you can discuss with your supervisors, right? Okay. Next, I'll take the qualitative one. There are also these type of components are there, some compulsory components, right? One is the phenomenon. What you're gonna search about, what's the area, right? That's called phenomenon. Then focus of inquiry. You're gonna search for factors affecting, influencing factors like that. Population again is there, context is there. So what is your population? From whom you're gonna collect data? Then again, in the context. That can be Sri Lanka, that can be Western province, that can be Eastern province, that can be Northwestern province, like that, right? So your topic must contain these facts. So according to the facts, the way that you're gonna search in social media, AI tools is different. That is why I'm initially showing you the components of this topic. Right. So then again, take some time and check or refer to your topic and check whether that topic is completed, right? If not, you can discuss with your supervisors. Again, children, at the same time, if you have any questions, you can ask related to the things that you're going to discuss. Okay. Children, throughout the workshop, this session, I'm going to mostly refer to the first topic because that will be easy for me to show you the practical aspects of how you can use it, right? So then therefore I'm going to go with quantitative one. So if you have any other questions, you can ask related to the other one. Okay. So children, normally you are using AI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude AI. So those are more common AIs, like we can ask questions and get information. So the most popular one is ChatGPT, I think. So most of you are using ChatGPT. So then I'm going to go through ChatGPT because we don't have time to go with the other AIs, but all are similar. What you can do is ask question and get the answer, right? Therefore, in this workshop, I'm going to use ChatGPT. Right? Okay. When you're going to use any AI tool, any generative AI tool, the first thing you must do is you must introduce yourself and your activity. What do you want to do? And again, introduce how the generative AI should answer. The role of the generative AI in this chat. You must give that first, right? For example, if you are going to ask question to get some knowledge, then you can say, I am a student, answer me as a teacher, right? So that is how you're going to introduce. And then you can say, I am asking these questions to write my assignment given in my 4th year, right? Like that, you have to introduce a situation. Then the benefit that we can have is, then these generative AIs focus their answers to your role and their role and the requirement, the purpose. Then you can get the most relevant answer for your question, right? So in your research, then, if you are getting some information for the research, then you have to mention, I am doing a research on this topic. I am undergraduate level 4 final year, and answer me as a expert researcher, right? So like that, you have to define that first. Okay, let's try it on. Again, you can do it with me. So you can open a browser and log into ChatGPT. Then we'll try on that, right? Okay, let me show you. Right. In ChatGPT now, I'm going to say, I'm undergraduate. You also can try it, okay? I'm an undergraduate and I am doing the topic is the topic is this one, and answer my questions as a researcher in the same field. Then you have to say, let me ask questions now. Otherwise, what will happen when you just give the prompt, ChatGPT will going to answer that. So if you tell that, let me ask questions now, then this AI will wait until you ask the question, right? So children, every time that you're gonna make a search, do a chat. So define yourself, define the role of the AI, and define the purpose of this chat. Then only you can get the maximum benefit of the chat, right? Okay. So now I'm going to press enter. Yeah, now it says, absolutely, I respond as follows. Research in your field. Okay. Is it clear? Right. Let's go to the next one then. Again, children, if you have questions, you can ask, right? Okay, so then this is how you can ask questions, right? So do not ask ChatGPT or any other generative AI to generate the introduction chapter for you, generate the proposal for you. Don't do that. I'll tell you why during the session. So actually what you should do is first ask questions. When you ask questions, it will load all the necessary information into its memory, right? If you just say develop a research topic for me, or develop a research proposal for me, develop the first chapter for me, develop research problem for me, like that, develop the review literature review for me, then that will not effective, right? Effective for you as well, and again for the work, right? So let's try on this. So children, now you have to start your first chapters, right? So then you have to go with your introduction. Then what you can do, you can ask questions in related to this topic, the example topic. Let's try on that, and again you can search with your one, right? So then I'll tell you how you should ask questions. Okay, now I'm going to ask. So now I want to write the first chapter of this one. So then first one will be background. So then I'm going to ask questions like this. So my topic here I'm using is impact of remote work practices on employee productivity in the IT industry of Sri Lanka. So then my background must describe IT industry in Sri Lanka and what is employee productivity and how the remote work emerged into the current situation. That should be a flow. So children, then this is how you can actually do it, right? So this, just follow the steps. First, you have to decide what is the flow that you have to follow in your background section. Flow of the content, right? That is what you can ask first. So then I'm going to ask, give me subtopics to be included. Introduction chapter. That should be a first question. Generate the introduction, generate the background. Do not ask that, right? Let's see. Right now it's generating my flow of the content. Global context of remote works. We can start from that. Then remote work in the IT industry. Remote work trends in Sri Lanka. Employee productivity and performance measurements, right? Then challenges and opportunities in remote work. Theoretical foundation, research gap in Sri Lankan IT industry. So then it has now arranged. Then you can decide what are the subtopics that you are going to include in your thesis. You don't have to include all, right? So then you can start with the first one. You can say global context for remote work. Give me the content for this, right? Let's say give me facts to be included for this part of the background, right? Now it's giving them point wise. And children, prior to the COVID pandemic remote work, this happens. So what you can do now, by just referring to this content, you can write it, right? You can just copy and paste some sentence from here, and again some facts. You can search for more facts. Like for example, here it says suggests only approximately 15% of the global workforce at the remote work, right? So you can, here the reference is given. You can open in the new tab. Right. Now we can see the figures are given, right? Then you can have these figures and ask to generate a graph for you, right? So let me do that. I'm going to just have a screenshot of this and paste it to ChatGPT and ask generate graph for this. And that will generate the graph. Then you can include that graph in your background. Normally what the almost all students previously do, they just ask a question like this and just give a copy and paste to this all the content here. මෙහෙම කොපියක් අරගෙන හැම එකටම දානවා නේද? So copy and paste everything. So the way that ChatGPT presenting data is this one, with numbers and bullet points. So anytime that we just look into a proposal or the chapter submission, one can understand this is totally a copy and paste from the ChatGPT. Children, we don't expect that from you because your skill of copy and pasting doesn't have to be improved. What must be improved in yourself is how to find information, right? Learn through this one, not to learn copy and paste. Therefore, everyone, again, the content given here is always not correct. I'll show you that. So if I go to new chat, this says, yeah, that is mentioned in the provision. I'll show you. This says the content given by ChatGPT is not always correct. That is mentioned there, right? Okay, now a graph is given. So then you can say, describe the graph. Graph in a short paragraph. So then he will give the description. This has happened, the reasons and everything, right? Again, if you can, then after that you can ask, give me references for these facts. Then this will give you the references, right? This is the reference. Then you can include that part in your reference section, right? Like that. So these generative AIs are fact finders, right? Again, they are generative AI. That means if the fact is not found, it will generate the content for you. That is always not true. So many fake content are developed using these generative AIs because these AIs are trained to generate content with your request, upon your request. So children, every information that this generate is not a correct one. That can be hypothetical. That's the reason. So when you just ask something and ask ChatGPT to do something, and when you just copy and paste into your content, when we read that, we can understand this is not correct. You have copied the content. Then even that you have presented, even that you have submitted a well formatted chapter, well developed chapter, the content in the chapter is fake. Then you will not get marks. That is what happened every time. There are some theses, there are some chapter submissions. They have given C plus those results at the end. The reason is the content in the chapter, content in the thesis are fake, not relevant. Right? We can't blame ChatGPT because these things are trained to give something. Right? What we ask, it will give something. So what we should know is how to get the correct information with relevant to our requirement. Right? That is why we should ask questions always. Right? You can ask, verify this, verify your answer. So let me say, I couldn't fully verify the facts, right? It says I couldn't fully verify all the facts members numbers you given, right? You give. So then verbally, right? Like that, if when this gives a research paper as well, you can ask if this research paper exists. Then this one says, no, that is a totally generated one. Like that, it gives information. So every time you have to question and question everything, right? Okay. So let's go through the slides then. Then give me facts and figures about the productivity. So let's see. So assume that you won't write the research problem, right? So the most important part of your research is the research problem. If you clearly understand the research problem only, then you can move forward, right? So let me ask the question then. You can ask, I want to. So you have to give full information, right? I just type, I want to write the, sorry, I want to identify my research problem in the employee productivity section, productivity. in Sri Lanka, right? So then let me ask that. It gives me the and I mean instructions like the IT industry in Sri Lanka is one of the, so we can start in that way. The core issue is given while global reach research suggests that remote work can increase flexibility and job satisfaction. Its impact on product is mixed, depending on management style, communication tool, culture, and infrastructure. Right? It was a make with in Sri Lanka experience with within the IT industry, there's limited empirical evidence, right? So that is one fact that you can address. Again, issues such as internet reliability, work-life balance, those are affected, right? So research problem is written here, right? Infrastructure management like this, right? So then what we have to do is we can't just say when ChatGPT gives this one, we can't just copy and paste this content into your proposal or the chapter one. Then you have to ask further. I need evidences. That you mentioned. Children, at the same time, you also can practice it, your topic, right? You can just ask questions like this one and see how will be your answers. While you are reading them, you can have a clear understanding and clear facts to include in your research thesis. Okay. Right. So then it gives me a list of papers, research publications that I can include as the evidences for to prove my research problem. Then you have to include these one in your research problem as well. Right. See, a list of facts are given. Again, for further, you can ask, give me a graph shows employee productivity of IT industry. Right. Children, like that, when using these GPTs, right? So it GPTs, you have to always ask the correct question, right? Correct prompt, right? So then this gives employee productivity index in Sri Lanka IT industry. Now you can see the productivity is going down. Then you can elaborate that graph, like the problem exists in the IT industry is the productivity is decreasing during past 5 years, right? So then you can see to for the reason for this one can be the remote work, right? That is how you have to develop your research problem, right? That's the first thing that you have to answer. Okay. Then further you can ask ChatGPT like give me the uh, elaboration this. right? Like that, one by one. When this one is given you an answer, so you can question through the answer, right? That is how we can develop it. Right now, it has given the elaboration. So do not just copy and paste this content into your thesis or the writing, right? Because when we ask a question, this will start answering from the beginning, right? So what happens then in your chapter? Always the same content will be there, right? Here you can see when I asked to elaborate this chart, it is also started from the COVID-19 pandemic and everything, right? Again, when I ask about the background also, it starts from the same point by mentioning the COVID-19 pandemic and everything. Again, starting from there, he's going to explain. Then children, ultimately what happens when you just include, copy and paste these content into your thesis, when we just read your thesis, we can see the same content repeats in different ways. That is because you have copied the content from GPTs. Then you will not get marks. Right? That is what happened. Again, you will not improve anything in yourself, even you have done a research. Because the skills that you can gain from the research is really important for your life when you're going to go with the industry and everywhere. This experience is really important because you are going to interact with people, you are going to summarize some data, you're going to search in the internet, you're going to read and understand, right? Those are the skills that you have to improve in yourself, not the knowledge, not the thesis. That is not important. But what is important is your honesty, right? So you do it correctly and truly. That's a skill. If you do not develop that skill in yourself, then you will not perform in the industry. We'll see there are really practical examples in the industry with our previous students. We know them. We know the issues, right? That is why we are saying this one. So children, with this GPT usage in your research and in your assignments and everything, so you have to read the content, understand them, and get relevant part of the answer into your research paper, into your thesis, into your chapter. Right? Do not copy everything because everything is not related. Okay. So you can just copy and paste this chart into a paper, and you can say source ChatGPT. That can be mentioned. That is the ethical use of AI, right? You can mention this is generated with ChatGPT using these sources. Here the source is given, right? Yeah. Source mentioned somewhere. If not, you can ask what's the source. Productivity index PGS. No, it's a image. We shall ask, right? What's the main source for the graph? Main source, can by the researcher based on assumption. Yeah, here it is based on logical assumptions from secondary literature, not drawn from all the empirical research. I mean, data, right? So then it's not from a data set; it's a assumption, right? But based on literature. Then you can mention what are the literature here, right? So that you have to mention. So this graph is generated using ChatGPT and its assumption generated from literature. That's your honesty. That must be needed in research. That's what we call ethical use of AI, right? There is no wrong mentioning that this content is created from GPT. Then that is okay because now people are using that. That is accepted. What really important is you accept that this content is from this source, right? Okay. Next children, we can see develop this information as relevant to use a research problem in a research, right? So then if I ask now, uh, develop about content as a chapter, as a paragraph to be used as my research problem. Right. Now it's generate the research problem paragraph. Again, it also asks to more align with academic research proposal standards. Then you can do it, right? Oh, now we can see here just the paragraph is there. No citations are there because no evidence are provided. When you are writing your research problem, every time you have to provide reference and citations. Without evidence, that is not valid, right? Therefore, here, when you generate from ChatGPT, that will not give you any reference. So in your proposals, we have already seen this type of a paragraph is there as the research problem, right? That is not even relevant to a topic, some cases. That is what they are in a research proposal. You can see now, right? You can check your own research proposal. Then the problem is something like this. That is because we have just asked the research problem about the topic, then GPT is generating something, then you can copy and paste that content into your proposal. Then children, what happens? You will not get marks because you are evaluated. Okay, so then write these GPTs, use these GPTs in the right way. Okay, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to say further, improve the problem, improve the content, emphasizing the main issue in productivity. Then you can say, give me your citations and references. Right, see now, all the citations are mentioned here, right? Then here it is given Vijayavardhana 2022. Again, see, software firms, Bandara 2023. Again, yeah, okay. Then the references are mentioned here. So you can verify whether this is a correct research paper. So the link is given here. You can click and go to the link. Yeah, you can verify that research paper exists because GPT sometimes generate fake content, right? So every time when a research paper is or a citation or one is mentioned, you have to verify that one. Okay, right? Then you can use these in your research references, and you can get information from this paragraph and include them in your research problem. Right? Again, I'm again mentioning that do not copy and paste the content without reading it, because there can be some irrelevant content in the middle of the paragraph. That happens. Because GPTs are not truly identify what is our purpose. Therefore, it's really important. You must read the content and then you can do whatever you want, right? Okay, so again, I'm summarizing the things that I discussed here in the first slide. So you can search in GPTs. Once you are searching, you have to mention who you are, what's the role of the GPT, and what is your purpose of this search. Then you have to ask questions first and generate information. Then once the information is generated, you can read it and you can question that further. If you have something like you don't understand, you can question that further. Like that, develop the chat first with the information. At the end, you can say, this is what my purpose is. You can generate a paragraph for this one by referring to the above content. Then that will do it. Then again, you have to read the paragraph because there can be some more unwanted content there. Read the paragraph and take only the relevant things from the paragraph and apply them into your paper or the chapter. That is what important. Okay. Any questions, children? Right. We shall move to the other one. Next, finding constructors for your IV, right? So if you are doing a quantitative research, then you have to find constructors for your independent variable, right? So let's say in this case, I'm going to ask my independent variable is remote work. Then I can ask what are the, you also can practice, children, right? Constructors that I can use in my research for the IV remote work. Give me a list. Right. So see, now it will give you a list. Children, when you are selecting your IVs, you can't just take three words, what you just read from somewhere, right? You must have a ground basis, a concrete basis for that. Why did you select this one? Why these are relevant? And why these can be used as a constructor of your IV, right? You should be able to explain that. That will be question, children. So then here you can see this one has given me altogether 10 constructors. Then let's read some like work flexibility, communication and collaboration, work autonomy, right? Autonomy means they can just think and work, right? Then work-life balance, managerial support, see, job resource and social support. So like that, these are the constructors that I can use. So then in your first chapter, you must describe these are the things that we can use as constructors, right? Even in your literature review, you can do that, right? So in your proposal defense, really important. These contracts constructors that I have found by reading research, and then you have to select 3 or 4 from there with your purpose, right? Again, why you select 3, why you select 4, you have to answer, right? You will be questioned. So then you can ask how many from this should I select for my research, and tell me why. Show me why. Okay. Right. So this says for your independent variable remote work practices, you should select 3 to 5 constructors, and it has selected 5. Then it justification is there. Work flexibility and those are considered sufficient to the chapter essential elements for this one. So like that. Again, if you want more evidence or more proof for that one, more justification for that one, you can ask. Give me strong justification for selecting above 5 constructors. So then you can get content, I mean, get information from this one. And then using these facts that you gain through this chat, you can develop your own answer, right? In your justification. So you can just copy and paste all the content here. What you must do is answer every point and get data, get information, and write your own one. That is how you can develop a perfect chapter in your research. That you can have earn the entire marks, the maximum mark for your writings. Children, if you just copy and paste, we can very easily identify that. Then the marks will be reduced. That's unfortunate. All right. The references are given. And by just reading this chat, the information are there, right? Okay. Right. Next, so you can ask if you have a moderating variable, if you want to use moderating variable, if you don't have a mediating variable, then you can ask. I'm going to ask what is the moder right. So that will give you a list. Let's see. Yeah. See, employee engagement, organizational culture, job type, employee experience, right? Text no stress, work-life balance, then recommended moderation, yeah, moderator, employee engagement as moderating variable. So it recommend this one. Again, it has mentioned why, right? So example paragraph is given. So like that, always get the information, right? Okay, I think my screen is visible now, right? Right. Thank you, Dilmi. Right, children. Okay. So that is how we can do it. Then children verify the data reference. So as I mentioned earlier, always you have to verify the data references given. So let me show you why you should do that. Give me a second, I'll show you. At the same time, you can practice with your research topic, how we can generate them. Okay. Right, children. Right. So just I ask, is every fact given by you are correct and accurate? So it says that's thoughtful question. This This is how it's called me. And the honest answer is not every fact I give is guaranteed to be 100% correct. So then, this is the important thing. So that is why children, you have to verify that every time. So because GPTs are generative applications that will generate, right? Again, they will hypothetically present some data and information. Okay. Right. This generates fake information because these are generative applications. And again, check every reference given through the Google or any other platform. We can use any other platform or Google to verify the fact that given by ChatGPT. So children, let's learn several other tools that you can use other than ChatGPT, because when you are doing research, there are some other rules specially designed for doing research, doing literature review, right? So then we can discuss now what are the other tools that you can use other than ChatGPT. So then you can get more fruitful information, fruitful facts through that other GPTs, right? Actually, those are not GPTs; those are search-based AIs. That means those are AI-based search engines, not only GPTs, right? Okay. So again, before moving to those tools, you must consider about these facts. One is the plagiarism, the other one is AI generated content, right? So, children, plagiarism is you are using someone else's word, ideas, data, or written content without a proper acknowledgement. That is called plagiarism. So, if you get an idea from a research paper, and if you are presenting that as your own without citing, that quote under plagiarism. For example, that you says there are there is a lack of research papers in this area. Everyone says that, right? So then you can't say such a thing, right? So you have to prove that with evidences. If you get that idea, get that fact from somewhere, then you have to mention that, cite that one there, right? That is what plagiarism means. So you are presenting someone else's content idea in your paper, in your chapters, as your own ones, right? So please avoid that. Again, children, AI generated content. When you copy and paste the AI generated content as well, the same thing happens. That you are plagiarizing the content in the GPT, right? That is why you can't just copy and paste the content. It 100% plagiarism, plagiarize. So what AI generated content issue is copying and pasting AI generated text without rewriting. That's the ethical issue there. Okay. Next, we'll see what we can do, right? So in plagiarism, what you can do, you can use paraphrases. Again, online paraphrases are there. AI-based paraphrases are there. You can get the content and you can paraphrase that one in your own words. And do again, what I'm saying is use paraphrase tools, but do not copy and paste the entire content from generate entire content from there into your chapter, right? The reason is again, those ones have irrelevant information or repeated information, right? Then you will quote for plagiarism, right? Then what you have to do, you can cite and you can mention, like uh, this is generated from this using GPT. This is from this research paper. This content is from this book, like that, according to this book, like that. You can mention that to avoid plagiarism, right? Again, when I'm talking, if you have any question, you can ask. So children, you can see here, submitting AI generated content as your own writings. That is also comes under plagiarism. Okay. What is acceptable in AI generated content? So children, you can ask questions and get information, that is called brainstorm ideas. So that is acceptable in researching because it's a search engine, right? It search a very large amount of data, and it gives you more relevant answers. Not as a query, it gives as an answer. Then it's really important that you can use ChatGPT. You can use any other GPT like Gemini, Claude, or anything. Right? That is not prohibited. But to what you must use it is to brainstorm ideas. Okay. In research, not to generate content. Again, you can write the paragraph, you can just compile by just taking information or facts from different sources, and you can ask ChatGPT or any other AI to improve grammar and the writing structure of your paragraph. That is accepted. Again, children, when you are doing that, you have to be yourself, because you have to say, improve the grammar and the structure of this content according to myself, my role. What is your role? That is undergraduate in level 4. Because children, when you are writing content, you can write them as an undergraduate. You can write them as a expert academic researcher. You can write them as a English expert, right? You can write them as a IT professional. Then the jargon that used in this text or paragraphs will be different. That is why I told you, when you are starting a chat in ChatGPT or any other GPT, you must mention your role, the role of the GPT, and the purpose. Then that will align all the content according to your role, right? So then you can use this to improve grammar and structure. It's accepted. Summarize or rephrase your own writing. So assume that when you have written a document, when you wrote a document, it has 200 words, but you want to summarize that into 100 words. Then you can copy and paste and ask the GPT to summarize this to 100 words. That is accepted. Okay. Then generate draft that you later written and reference properly. Then you can generate draft, like if you are going to write the background section, you can generate, give me the list of content or sub content to be included in this introduction section. We tried that earlier. So then what you can do, depending on that structure, you can feed content into each section. Again, you can use the generated content, but you have to read and rewrite in your chapter. Again, you can check clarity and logical flow. So if you have written the entire chapter, you can ask GPT to check whether what are the improvements to be made. Right? Let me show you that, children. Right. So I'm going to now upload a paper of mine, a chapter, sample chapter. So you can upload a file. Sample chat I've selected. Once you prepare in the chapter or a part of the chapter, like for example, if you generate, if you compile your background section of the first introduction chapter, then you can upload that and ask What are the improvements that should I make in this chapter? So for each section, improvements are given, right? Then for the introduction, it says add paragraph for significance, on significance, why the research is important. So then what you can do, you can add some few paragraphs or few sentences saying that this how this one is significant, right? Again, refine flow. So that means there is a issue in the flow of the arrangement of content. Then you can rewrite the content again to maintain the flow. Then again, you can further ask, refine flow. What did you mean by this, right? I'm going to ask. So then it says you have to maintain the flow of content in this way. Describe the context, present the problem, introduce why information quality is matters, then bring the AGI as the potential solution. So like that, uh, this is the order that that I have to maintain when I'm describing the content. Right. So like that, you can ask or upload your upload a document or just copy and paste what you have written, and you can ask what are the improvements to be made on this one. Then depending on that, you can improve, right? Okay, children. Then what you should not do, right? Copy and pasting AI generated text without rewriting or verifying. You shouldn't do that. You will get low marks if you do that. Then submitting AI created survey questions or literature review as your own original analysis, because there can be more irrelevant content and fake content there when you just generate literature survey and some survey results from GPT, right? So then these fake content can be identified very easily. Then again, you will get lower marks. Using AI to fabricate data or references. That means if you have some references, you can make some changes to them. You can ask that to generate some fake references. Again, fake data, cooked data, right? Then that is also not accepted. That is totally wrong. Then citing fake references, right? That is I mentioned here. Then that also very wrong. You can't do that because those are very easily identified. And again, what I'm going to say is you will get the low marks and you will not improve anything in yourself if you do these things. So the reason, children, AI tools can provide false and unverified information that is possible. It's also is mentioned by themselves as well. I show you. ChatGPT says that the information given by me will not be correct always, right? And so that is against academic integrity and the policies, right? That is totally under academic dishonesty. So, children, honesty is a quality that you have to maintain with yourself, in yourself, by yourself, right? So, be honest in your research, right? So, children, this is how you can use ChatGPT or any other GPT in your when you are developing chapters. So, when you are developing this chapter one introduction chapter, you can brainstorm and background information if you are doing the research on for the example we are doing in the IT industry. So you can just ask questions about how the development of the industry, what are the main companies, what are the popular companies there, again how that was evaluated, I mean what's the history of that one. So like that you can ask questions. That is called brainstorming. You can do that. Then structure in the chapter, we test, we can find the structure, the flow of the content, how we have to maintain them. Then suggesting wordings for problem statements. So if you have written the problem statement, you can ask, rewrite this problem statement in a formal way, in a more academic method. So like that you can ask. And again, you can check grammar and spelling as well, right? So again, you must rewrite AI output in your own way. That's really important. You have to rewrite them, not copy and paste. Again, use Sri Lankan sources. In some cases, children, there are references and sources mentioned. Those are from very far away countries. But you are discussing in northeastern province, right? So then those are irrelevant. Then do not use them because GPT sometimes give those type of information. Then you have to identify the survey results, research gap, and those things can be done by yourself, not by the GPT. The decision should be taken by yourself. Okay. Then when you are writing the literature review, you can identify theories. If you don't know a theory, then you can ask GPT to explain that one. For example, when you are accessing remote work, you can see like you have to mention the theoretical background, right? Theoretical framework of your research, right? Let's see how you can do it. Okay, now I'm going to ask, what are the theories that I can study for remote work? Right. So then it says resource-based view, then job characteristic theory, Hackman theory, right? Then social exchange theory, then self-determination theory. Like that, several theories are mentioned. See, then you can ask, what is the which are most relevant, which are most relevant theories, right? The core focus of your study, technology utilization, and these things. So then it will suggest me job demand resource theory, JDR model. Then technology TAM model. Okay. So if you don't know what is job demand resource theory, then you can ask, explain JDR. Then this will explain you the theory, right? So by just I understand the theory only, you can apply that into your research, right? What happens normally, what you do, most students do, they just ask, what are the theories for my research? Then this will give some theories. They're going to just copy and paste all theories in the presentation and their chapter. Once they're going to present, when we ask why that you use this theory, they don't know anything. That normally happens, children. Therefore, it's really important that when you are mentioning a theory there, You have to learn it first. Again, children, then I ask here, explain me the theory. Now, let's see the theory is explained, right? So then, flexible, multi-level, integrative, and quantitative friendly, like that, it's explain the theory. So then, assume that you don't know, I mean, still you can't understand the theory. Then we can say, explain it more as a teacher. So then it explains like job demand resource is one of the most widely used theories, and the two core components are there, effort and energy. So like that, very simply that is explained. Again, if you don't understand that, right, you can ask. Right. So key reference, everything is given, right? So again, further you can ask, explain theory with a simple example. So now it is explained with the example, children. So like that, until you understand the theory, you can ask questions and learn it. After that, you can just go through the content that is already developed here and add those content into a slide or the chapter with your better understanding. Right? Otherwise, do not just generate what is this theory and do not copy and paste those content into your chapters. Because in your presentations, you will be questions and you will be in trouble if you don't know why that is relevant to your research and what is explained through the theory if you don't know that. Again, children, these resources are really available. Very easily you can learn. Now see, if you just ask again, if you ask, I don't get it again, explain me again. So this will do it, right? Then utilize that one for your own benefit, not to dishonor your academic activity, not to cheat your academic activity, to improve yourself, right? Okay. Then rewrite your summaries into clear academic language. That is important, children. So you can just take some data and copy and paste them in a separate Word file. And again, you can ask GPT to rewrite the content in a clear academic language. Then that will do it, right? Again, suggesting keywords to search in Google Scholar. So you can write, like you can ask, I want to search about this paper in this Google Scholar or any other GPT, I mean, any other search engine. Give me keywords for that one. Then this will try on that, right? Summarizing actual journal article. So if you have already have an article, you don't have to spend more time to read the entire article and get the information from that. Sometimes when you read an article, you don't understand that even, right? So what you can do, you can upload that article and ask question from that article. What is the problem that is addressed here? What is the methodology that research has followed? Again, through that you can get insights for your research, right? Okay. To write my entire literature review is not allowed. Then when you are writing the methodology, again you can use suggestions, correct methodology items, right? Like how to do the survey, how to do the analysis, and those things can be asked. Then written explanations for sampling and data collection. So if you have some collected data segment, or if you have a graph, if you have a table, you can ask for explanations. Then you can ask for survey questions in the methodology, right? So then you can tailor those questions according to your requirement. Again, develop methodology without your real decisions inaccurate. So what you are really expecting is known by only yourself. So then generate content from these GPTs and apply them in your research by your own way, right? Again, data analysis. So again, you can ask for data analysis steps, how to do this one. So right, you can ask, I want to do the correlation. What are the steps in SPSS? So this will give you all the steps. Launch SPSS, go to file, open data, and analyze correlation, bivariate, like that. All the instructions are given. So how to validate the question, you can ask, and you can find the most relevant test for your research. Again, you can ask for appropriate visuals. So if you have some data, you can ask for a pie chart, you can ask for a line chart. Again, what is the most relevant or most uh, accurate way of presenting this data, you can ask, and you can go with that method. So like that, always use this as a tool to develop your research, not to generate content to copy and paste. Again, conclusion, children, in the conclusion section, you will have separate workshop for this, how to write it, but you have to uh, tally your findings with the things that you found in the literature review, right? You have to compare your findings with all the previous research. Then that is how you can write your conclusion. If you find that remote working is efficient, then you have to conclude that with by matching that or comparing that with other findings. So then you can ask, this is my finding. What are the relevant other papers or publications that has the same finding? Then this will give you a list. Through that, you can write your own conclusion. Okay. So, however, children, at the end, what I'm going to say you is AI is your assistant, right? Ask questions through that, get information, but keep in mind that you are the researcher, not AI or not the GPT is not the researcher. You are the researcher. The research is your own work, right? So then use this AI as a assistant. So your originality comes from your data and your inspiration, your ideas, your work, your data. That is what the originality means. So be an original person, be an honest person. Then that is the skill that you have to improve in yourself. If you can be the honest person, then the marks will follow you, right? ඔයාලා දන්නවනම් ඔයාලා ඇත්ත විදිහට මේක කරේ. ඔයාලා ඔයාලා තමයි මහන්සුනේ. So ඔයාලගේ මහන්සියට ඔයාලා හඹාගෙන ඔයාලා හොයාගෙන ලකුණු වෙනවා. හරිද? ඒ නිසා බලෙන් ලකුණු ගන්න ගියොත් ළමයි තියෙන්නේ. තියෙන ලකුණු ටිකත් අඩු වෙනවා. Okay. Right, children, let me go through quickly with a few AI tools that freely you can use. Again, children, at the same time, you can open the tool and you can just try. And again, when you are doing the research, when you are developing chapters for the entire year, you can use these tools very easily to find information and facts, right? Actually, this one is really important to do the literature review. Okay, let's see what is this tool. Okay, children, this is called Semantic Scholar. So let me click and go there. Okay, Semantic Scholar. So this is kind of Google Scholar, kind of a search engine like Google Scholar. Then you can search for papers like remote work in, let's say, IT industry. Then the children, most important thing here is you can search or filter as PDF. So has PDF. Then this will give only the research publications which is PDF is available. Again, data range. You can select last 10 years. Yeah, this cannot be improved because I haven't just logged in. When you log in, children, you can improve this one. Okay, so you can get the most relevant articles. Then clear. Again, when you log in, children, I'm not going to log in now. So when you sign in, okay, you can do it with Google as well. So you have to fill this form and be registered because I'm using this one with another email account. That is why I'm not going to register now. So then you can give this information, and again, when you are logged in, children, you can create some categories, and this will give you some suggestions as well, recommendations. When you search for an article, then it will automatically give you relevant articles for that article, right? So like that, it's really helpful to find research papers. Not like Google Scholar. This is AI based. I mean, Scholar is also AI based, but this is totally AI based for research findings, right? So then you can use this, that is Semantic Scholar, to find research papers, research articles, which are relevant to your field or which are relevant to your research, your study. Okay. So search research articles, filter by PDF available, right? It's really important because when you just search in Google or Google Scholar, that will give all the links, children. But here, what this tool do, it will give you the exact PDF file. Then what you can do, you can open it, download it, upload that again to ChatGPT or any other GPT, and ask questions from that paper. What is the methodology? What is the problem? Why is it significant? What are the constructors used? What are the main findings? Summary the findings. So like that, you can ask all the questions about the paper and include them in your chapter with citations, right? With references. Okay, next tool, that is called Consensus. This is again an AI. So this gives you evidence-based search. That means when it gives you some fact, it always give you what is the reference, what is the evidence that fact is given, that fact is generated. Again, to find research gaps in your area, to find relevant papers to your topic, right? Ask questions from the topic. All these are possible in Consensus, not like ChatGPT. It's totally focused on the research. We'll check on that. Again, children, you can also check, right? You can just open a tab, type Consensus, and open the tool. Then you can search about your topic. Let's try on it. So if you try with me, then that will be a advantage for you because then you can easily understand the tool, and if you have any questions, you can ask them at the same time, right? Okay. So here this is. I'm going to go into it. Children, similarly, you can sign in. You can use Google for that. Right. So then I'm going to ask about my research. Uh, Impact of remote work for employee in IT sector in Sri Lanka. Okay, children, again, give me 1 minute until this is complete the uh, research. I didn't see remote work in Sri Lanka, so it has given all the information about that physical work environment with the citation. See, PDF is available. If you click on the PDF, that will be open. That is downloaded now. So this is the PDF about the research. Again, work flexibility. One citation, PDF is there. Then, right. So like that, if you when you ask questions, it always give that with evidences. That's really easy for you, right? What you have to do is the ask correct question, and it's really easy. Then let me show you another one. So here, when you just go click, move your mouse pointer towards the citation, then it gives details, right? Let me click on detail. Okay, then the PDF is here. Then you can ask question from that, right? So ask questions from the PDF even. So then again, you have to click detail. Right. So here you can ask question from that PDF. So then factors affecting job performance of Sri Lankan IT professional working from home. Uh, I'm going to ask what is the search problem mention this paper. The main research problem, what factors affecting job performance, and again research problem statement is there. Again, yeah, the other citations that that person has referred, those are given. Children, very easily you can just click here and open the PDF, and every data relevant to your research is available in one platform. And again, it's free. There's a pro version, but you can manage the free one, right? So then this will be the best one other than ChatGPT to do your research. And what you have to ask is, do is just ask the correct questions. So that is what actual research means. So you're going to search, again search, again search. That is why it's research, right? Search and find the best solution. Okay. So then that is conscious AI. It's really important tool, right? Okay. Next one, children. SCI space is next one. So this is really important for you writing the introduction chapter, the first chapter, and again writing conclusions, because this one give you more information based searching, right? So again, this one is working as an agent. I'll show you the difference. So this will take more time when you ask. So here in this SCI space, it is an agent, so it's not a GPT. So what you have to do is you have to give it a task, not asking questions, right? In GPTs, what we do, we ask questions, but here what we do, we give it a task, right? So again, let me show you that. SCI space. So children, it's a AI assistant, it's a research agent, right? So let me ask, let's ask, give me 4 most relevant constructors for my research study. On, something, right? Again, explain why these are selected. So children, this is not a question actually. This is a task. Give me 4 more relevant constructors and explain why these are selected. So let's do it now. So again, children, this will take much time than a GPT, because this one is yeah. So you have to log in, right? I'm going to be using this AI again, children. So you can see this will actually you can manage it by once you log into this one. So we can ask the question and ask agent to do the research, right? So for this email, my the code is over now, right? Pre-grades are over. Okay. Again, if that is over, you can create a new email and continue, right? Okay, you can try it, because it's also give you it work as a assistant and do the work for you, not answer your questions. It will do the work for you, right? Okay, let me go to the other one. The other one is children Perplexity AI. So that is also a good one, which gives you cited sources for every answer, right? Let's see the interface. This is Perplexity. Again, if you ask what is the current status of remote work, the IT industry in Sri Lanka. Right, so it gives the answer with figures and again the cited sources. And the important thing is, children, this one is always cited from research publications. That's the important thing. So if you just search in Google or ChatGPT, it gives you websites as well. But this one is not giving you websites. So this one will give you some published research papers as sources, right? It's somewhat like ChatGPT, but the important thing is it always give the sources for the answer. And it is the web search of this Perplexity is improved than ChatGPT. That's the important. Okay, everyone. So again, what I want to mention here is ask the correct question always and use the correct GPT or AI tool to do your research. ChatGPT is not the only tool that you can use. There are more. Again, Conscious AI is a very good tool that you can use for your research. And what you must improve in yourself is to ask the relevant question always. Right? Other than that, you will not learn even to use an AI. Right? So if you use an AI, that skill will be improved in yourself. But if you just copy and paste the content and somehow you do it by just get help from others and everything, then other than the research, you will not even improve your searching skills, your skill with AI, working with AI, right? Because that skill is now really important. ඔයාලා AI එක්ක වැඩ කරන්න ඉගෙන ගන්නවා කියන එක තමයි ඉස්සරහට දිගටම ඕන වෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා පුළුවන් තරම් ප්‍රශ්න අහන්න, use කරන්න, මේකත් එක්ක වැඩ කරන්න. That is the most relevant skill that you can gain by the research. Not how to write literature review, how to write methodology, how to analyze. Right? Those are subjective knowledge. Right? You must develop the skill in yourself. Okay. Then children, at the end, before the interval, few advices to use AI tools in your research. So you have to use AI as a helper, not a replacement. Then verify all information. So we discussed these things, final summary. And be transparent about AI use, because if you have generated any content, any source, any image, any chart, any graph, then you have to mention that this is generated using this AI. Then you should be able to accept that one. So it is not wrong. Avoid plagiarism and over reliance. That means you can't just generate content and copy and paste from the GPT to your thesis, your paper, your presentation. That is also wrong. Then children, use reliable AIs. Do not use every AI that available. You can use ChatGPT, Perplexity, Consensus, and Semantic Scholar. Like that, you can use all the trusted AIs, right? Again, protect your data and privacy means do not always upload your entire content into these GPTs or AIs, right? That because those are given freely, they will always take the data, right? So then please keep in mind that what are the information that you should give about your research, about yourself to the AI, right? You have to be aware about that. Then develop critical thinking is really important. This is the most important advice that I have to give you while using AI. So do not allow the AI to control yourself. You must use your own brain, your critical thinking, your logical thinking. Otherwise, children, you will be a dumb person and AI will be a very intelligent one. අන්තිර වෙන්නේ ඔයා මෝඩයෙක් වෙනවා, AI බුද්ධිමතෙක් වෙනවා. හරිද? So use AI to create, to search information, process information by yourself using your brain, right? Do not allow always the GPT to process the information for yourself. It can do it, but do not allow that. That's the most important advice that I have to give you. Otherwise, children, your skills will not improve. You will be not improve. නැත්තම් ඔයාව improve වෙන්නේ නැහැ. AI එක improve වෙනවා. It's learning, it's improving always. But you will not. Okay. Our next part is making effective presentation, children. Let's have a 10 minutes break. You can stay in the link. That is okay. So we shall have a 10 minutes break and we shall start how we can make a effective presentation, because your presentations are scheduled in from next week. Then you have to make your proposal defense presentations, and in the presentation you will get some mark for your presentation skill as well. Therefore, it's really important to learn how we can make the effective presentation And again, when you're in the industry also, it's you have to do always the presentations, right? Always you have to do presentations. Then I think the next session will be important to you. And again, I am going to use only half an hour or 40 minutes for that one. Not it's a long session. So let's have a 10 minutes break and start the session after that. Again, you can stay online if you want. Right, children. So we're going to start the second part of our workshop. That is how to make an effective presentation. So then again, I explained earlier to you. So that's really important. Try to improve yourself with these skills, right? Okay. Let me quickly go through the slides because we have a few things to discuss here. Yeah. First one is the problem. Today we're going to discuss about how to present your slides, your thesis in efficient way, right? So like that, when you're going to start a presentation, you must first tell them what you're going to do, what you're going to address, right? So then only the audience will pay the attention. This is something that you want to learn. This is something that I want to listen, right? So like that, you can start your presentation with an impression, right? You can show something, you can ask question, you can directly say this is what you're gonna listen today. This is what you're gonna be evidence today, right? So like that, you can start with the reason that why your audience must listen to your presentation, right? Okay, that will be the start. Then, so then you must plan, children. Then you must plan the presentation very well. In planning, you must aware who is your audience, what do you want to achieve from your presentation, right? For example, you are making the presentation to give the others a knowledge, like a lecturer is doing. They are making the presentation to give you some knowledge, right? But here, what you are doing, you are making the presentation to earn marks and defend your thesis, right? So your main purpose is to earn marks. So again, you know that why you are doing this, because you are going to be evaluated by a evaluation panel, a review panel, right? Then the audience is to measure your performance. That must be kept in your mind, right? Then you must understand your audience, their education level, their inspiration, how you can get their attention, right? You have to think about those. Then only you can plan your presentation, right? That's a problem that you have to address in your presentation, right? Okay. Then always try to use visualizations, because the audience will remember things not by hearing what you are saying, right? What you have to do is use visuals like graph, charts, images, diagrams. Those are the things that you must include in your presentation. But normally, what the majority is doing is they are just pasting entire speech that they are going to make there, and they are reading the slide. That is not a presentation, children, right? Here you can see 1% of the information will be uh, observed using taste, by just experiencing. I mean, by just looking into that, right? Then through the touch, when they feel it. Then through smell, right? Like that. But 83% through the sight. So if they really see the thing, that will touch the mind. That is why in your presentation, you must use not other than the text. You can use graph, charts, then tables, like diagrams, those things. So then do not paste the entire content that you are going to read out in your presentation. Okay, that's the second point. See, when they hear and see, they will the fact will retain in their mind more. Not only by hearing, not only by seeing, you have to use both. You have to show it and tell it, explain it by your own words. Again, I'm mentioning the same point because I'm going to mention that again and again. Do not read the content in the slide by yourself. Do not be a note reader there, right? Be a presenter. Okay. Then fear of public speaking is there with everyone. When you're going to speak in front of an audience, there are a lot of issues people are facing. Sometimes they forget what they're going to say, right? Sometimes they get wet, right? They shivers. So those kind of issues are there with people, even with students as well. So to get rid of that one, what you must do is first ready the presentation and do it in front of a mirror. After that, practice that one in front of the mirror. After that, ask your friends, one or two friends, to be in front of yourself and do the presentation. Right. So you can create, you can be as a group like 5 members. You can get together, and everyone is going to make the presentation in front of the other 4. In your room, you can do that. Children, try in that way. Otherwise, you will not be able to improve, because we are seeing this matter, seen this issue in almost all the students in our faculty, right? As I mentioned, in our batch, I mean the department, we have more than 200 students in the batch, but only 20 to 30 presentations are there. All the others are something else. So children, if you know that you don't have that skill of making a presentation, so develop that skill in yourself. That is the path. First, do it in front of a mirror. After that, gather as a group. So if someone has more skills than yourself, please ask or invite that person, invite that friend to your group and ask him or her to watch how you are doing the presentation and comment on that. So if you do not do that, you will be going to go outside as a person who doesn't have a skill of doing a presentation. You will be in trouble when the industry asks, if your boss asks you to make a presentation in front of the audience. එහෙම වෙච්ච ගොඩක් තියෙන ළමයි presentation එක කරගන්න බැරුව ගෙදර ආපු ළමයි ඕන තරම් ඉන්නවා. But now you have time, you have instructions, so anytime you can come and ask for advices from any lecturer here, right? Again, when you're doing presentations, we give you some comments about your presentation, so then you can get to know that how you are presenting. The most influencing factor here is we don't know how we are presenting. We don't know what are the faults that we are doing, what are the mistakes that we are doing. To identify those mistakes, always do the presentation in front of your colleague, in front of your best friend, and ask them to comment on your presentation. Truly do this one. Then only you get to know what are the mistakes that you are doing, what are things to be improved in yourself. Then only you can develop yourself as a good presenter, and that will help you to even sit for an interview as well. Because in an interview also, what you do is presenting yourself to the board. If you are only a good presenter, then only they will select you. Therefore, children, doing presentations is really important. In this research project, you have to do 4 presentations. One is a proposal defense, first progress, second progress, and the viva. Then keep in mind and thoroughly keep this in mind. You are going to be a good presenter in your presentation, right? Okay. So here in this slides also, I'm going to discuss about you quickly about preparation of the presentation, structure of the presentation, and how to use visual aids, and again how to practice, right? Okay. So the second one, planning the presentation. You must aware about purpose, why and what you're going to do that. Who is your audience? What the audience expect from yourself, right? That's really important when you're planning your presentation. So always align your content by focusing to your expectation from the presentation. ඔයාලා presentation එක කරන්නේ ඇයි කියන එකට හැමතිස්සෙම focus කරන්න ඕනේ. So if you are presenting your proposal, then every content that you insert in your given template must be focused that your topic is significant and it should be done. That what should you convince to the panel, right? Then plan your presentation according to your purpose. So then know your subject, develop a theme, really important, right? So if you are using a color, like if you're using blue color, then go with blue color, right? If you are using shapes, squares, then always go with squares. If you are using a heading with 30 size font bold, then maintain that in every slide. If you are using 24 as the font, content font size, then maintain that in every slide. So keep a consistency, develop a theme for yourself. So then list the key components and points to convey. So major points that you want to convey. So list them. Then you can see to convey this message, whether I can use a graph. To convey this message, if it is possible to use a diagram, then create the diagram, right? Like that. So illustration key points, then okay, maximum 1 slide per minute. That means those are just ethical, not best practices, but you don't have to confine yourself to that, right? You can talk about slide about 5 minutes, but the thing is, when people are just looking at the same image always, same slide always for a longer time, then you will lose the interest. That's why this is saying maximum 1 slide per minute, because every change that you make in your presentation refresh the audience. They will again look into your presentation newly. So that is why in some cases you can make the change by adding animations as well. So when something changes the presentation, they just look into your presentation. What happened? What is next? So to keep that interest, normally the best practice is a maximum 1 slide per minute, right? Then the structure of your presentation. You must have opening. Tell them what you're gonna do today, what they can gain at the end of your presentation, what the problem that you're gonna address through your presentation, right? So plan your opening. You can show an image and say, this is what going to happen in future, right? So if you are talking about this remote workers and their efficiency in my presentation, I can show you something like a very lonely person, image of a lonely person. Then I'm going to say, this is going to be the future of employees. Let's see during my presentation how this is going to happen. Right. So that is how we can start. Not always, but that is a technique. Then that will create a curiosity in the audience. So how this going to happen to the employees? How they're going to be very lonely? Okay, sorry, children, I had a power cut here. Right. So then again, we are discussing about opening. Okay, so then you can just create some curiosity in the audience, or you can put a problem in their mind. Then they will seek answers from your presentation and interestedly look into your presentation, right? So like that, opening is really matter how you open the presentation. Then body of your presentation, though real well organize your content in the body of the presentation. So in here, in your proposal defense and all these presentations, we have given you a template, so you can adhere to the template, but you can create your own slides, right? It's just a template that what you have to describe. Right. Then summary. At the end, you must give a summary of your presentation. This is what I discussed, this is what I did, and this is what I'm going to do. Right? This is what will happen next. Like that, you have to give a summary there, right? Okay. So children, this image says when you are doing the presentation, the time of the audience is really matters. If you are given 10 minutes to do the presentation, do it within 10 minutes, and within that 10 minutes, give the maximum that you can give, right? In the effective way. Not all the things that you have to tell, give the most relevant things there, right? So because always think that the time of the audience is a matter. That's really important. So always, that is why the practice is necessary. Always you have to practice. So if the time is given is 10 minutes, so practice presentation always. Try to complete that within 10 minutes. And then how that is how you can improve your good presentation skills, right? So children need a strong beginning we discuss. So because the first impression that you generate in the audience mind is really important. That is how they will measure you, right? Again, when you are talking, let them feel that you are not wasting their time. You are telling something important, something to be listened. Again, you are well organized. Your presentation is clearly organized to complete within the during given time period. Again, who you are, that means you are doing this presentation with your confidence. That shows who you are. You know about this one. You have studied about this one. This is your own work. That must be planted in the audience mind. So you that means if you are presenting your own presentation, I mean your own research, that you must have the confidence that I did this thing, so I know this one. Then the audience must feel that, yeah, this is something that we should listen because this person knows about the subject. That must be planted, that must be created in the audience mind with your presentation slides and the confidence that you show with your face and all the body parts, right? Okay. Even with using your dress. So structures or introduction, the purpose, and give outline presentation. So these are normal things, and again these are given with the template as well. But when you're making a presentation, always you must go with an outline. Introduction, then content, then summary, then question and answers. Like that, you have to maintain the flow of the presentation very clearly. Right. So then when you are structuring the main body of the presentation, children, uh, keep it as a storyboard. That means you are maintaining the clear flow of the presentation. Like if you're going to present about our research topic is remote work, of how the impact of remote work on employee productivity, right? So then you can start by the IT sector in Sri Lanka. This is how the IT sector is developed, and remote working was popular after COVID pandemic, and then now companies are using remote work due to these factors. And then I'm going to find how this remote work affecting to the employee productivity. So for that, I'm going to measure, I'm going to use this approach, and my population is this one, and like that. So make it a storyboard, one after the other with the continuation. And children, every slide that you change, there must be a breakup with the improvement, a key point, right? Key improvement in the next slide, other than the previous ones, right? So then you have to maintain that. So then you have to present that consciously, because in some cases, something there in the slide and the present is presenting something else, telling something else, telling some not relevant things, right? That happens always, because we know the slide says something and the presenter says something. So you have to be conscious about the slide or the things that you are presenting in the slide. Again, children, there can be some points like you also don't know why that point is there. Such situations are there because there are some words students have copy and paste content from GPTs or any other source. Then they have put that in the slide. They even don't know what's the meaning of the word. Those situations are there. So be conscious about your slide, about the things in your slide. So use simple language. Use the language known to you, which you can pronounce. Right? So if you don't know how to pronounce the word, then listen how to pronounce the word, because pronunciations are there. If you go to YouTube and type the word pronounce, then that word is there. Then you can see the pronunciation. So always use the pronunciation correctly. Right? So all some there's common word like questionnaire, right? So then there are different pronunciations from different students in for the questionnaire. Some says questionnaire, some says questionnaire, and different pronunciations are there. Okay? So it's questionnaire, right? So then if you don't know how to pronounce the word, just listen to that, right? Again, lot of such type of mistakes are there. That means you are not confident about your presentation. Then you will lose your marks. Okay, right. Again, use clear visuals, the relevant visuals. In some cases, students use some images, some visual arts, right? Some arts. So those are not relevant to the content in the slide. Always put relevant images and arts, clip arts into your presentation, right? Yeah, keep it simple. So if you want to tell something, use the simplest way that you can express that thing, right? Use the image, use the word, and use it in a different way. Then only you will be a good presenter, because then only the audience will attract yourself, because you are different from the others. To be different, use simple slides, simple images, simple text, and place that text in a different way, right? That is how you can make it a good presentation. Again, closing the presentation is really important. Again, the end of the presentation must have an end. That means if you are ending the presentation, you have to give a summary of presentations. You have to highlight the main points of your presentation. Like that, you have to put something into the listener's head at the end of the presentation. So briefing is really important for that. So put in context the big picture. So at the end, you can say, this is what I explained. This is what going to happen. This is what my presentation is, right? Again, this is my research topic and this is what I'm going to do. You can mention that at the end. So do not show the tree at the end. You can show the entire jungle. In the slides, we're going to discuss about tree by tree by tree. අපි ස්ලයිඩ් ඇතුළේදී කරන්නේ එක එක ගහ ගැන කතා කරනවා කැලේ තියෙන. කරලා අවසානයේ වල අවසාන ස්ලයිඩ් එකේදී මුළු වනාන්තරයම පෙන්වන්න. එතකොට තමයි ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එක සාර්ථක වෙන්නේ. You can show all the trees in every slide, but at the end of the presentation, you have to show the entire jungle. Right? Okay. Okay, now you can use some visual aids like videos, pictures, those things to emphasize what you are saying. Then in slides, headlines, you can use a consistency of headlines, the font size, font, and the colors. So normally keep one slide for one point. Do not add every content, all the content into one slide. Keep it simple. Again, don't crowd the slide with paragraphs. In presentations, try to always use bullet points, the point view. I think in my presentation also what I'm doing, always I'm trying to add points. Okay, then use pictures. So every time if you have a difficult point to explain, think about a diagram, think about a picture, think about an example. In your presentation, you can tell some stories, right? So not in this one, but when you're making presentation, always if you think that explaining this one is difficult, use example. Use the relevant picture for that example there, right? Again, when you tell something, the way that people look into that will be different. See, here, the same structure, the same thing that you're going to show, the same picture that you use in the slide, but the way that people are going to observe that is different. See, the same structure, but in the left side, you can see how it is appear. Right, children, from this example, what I'm going to show you is the things that you say is going to be observed or understand by your audience in different ways, right? So if you want to keep the entire audience in the same page, then you have to use your visuals, focusing the majority of your audience, right? Normally we focus on 60% of the audience in a presentation, because there is 20% of the audience who can very clearly understand everything that you say because they have the knowledge. Again, another 20% is there who don't have the knowledge and who don't have that experience. Therefore, they can't understand what you're saying, right? So 60% is there. You must convince them. You must convey your message to them. So you must focus about that 60%. who have somewhat experience, somewhat knowledge about what you are saying. Right? So then that is why I show you that the way that you show things will be gained or will be retrieved by the other people, I mean the audience, in different ways, right? So then when you're preparing slides, choose relevant fonts like Arial and Cambria, like those type of fonts. We call them serif fonts without some curves, additional curves there. Again, you can use 20 or 24 as the content font and 32, 36 as the uh, heading fonts. Color combinations, very important. Dark backgrounds, light fonts. Light backgrounds, dark fonts you have to use. Right. Then the last point that I would mention is always please practice your presentation before delivering it. So again, I'm telling you the same thing. Practice it in front of the mirror. Practice it with your friends, a group of friends, and then you will be ready for the final presentation. නිකම්ම කොහේ හරි presentation එකක් copy paste කරගෙන දුවගෙන එන්න එපා දරුවනේ. ඔයාලා evaluate වෙනවා සහ ඒ හරහා ඔයාලගේ සම්පූර්ණ research එකේ ලකුණු තීරණය වෙනවා. So please don't do that. Next point is, children, you have to talk, don't read. Right? So you don't have to read the presentation slide, the content in there, because as audience we can read it. Right? When you paste a text there, we can read the text. We don't need you to read it for ourselves. අපිට ඔයාව ඕනේ slide එකේ තියෙන එක කියව ගන්න. මොකද අපිට ඒක කියව ගන්න පුළුවන්. The audience can do that. What you must is talk to the audience. Explain the content in the slide to the audience. That's what you should do. Okay. Right. So, Shiran, this is really important. There are some situations where this happens. The student come in and play the presentation and turn back to the audience and turn towards the smart board or the screen, and they're just reading it very slowly without in a low voice. So audience is like this. What is he doing? What is he doing? We don't know. We can't even read the slides. We can't even hear you. We are not even looking into your faces. We don't know what you are doing. Right? That happens. So you can identify these type of issues in your presentation only if you practice that in front of your colleagues. ඔයා කලින් මේ කරලා බලලා ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරොත් විතරයි ඔයා දන්නේ ඔයා මෙහෙම කෙනෙක් කියන්නේ. Then you can change it. Then you can practice not to do that. So then dress well, well prepared, smile, breathe deeply. I mean, be yourself. Release your hands to be like your hands. And අත්වලට අත් වගේ ඉන්න දෙන්න එක බලෙන් හැම කරන්න යන්න එපා. Don't do that. So then with preparation you can practice that, right? Let your hands to do what they do. So then always fish. I'm just showing you some images to plant them in your minds. Always finish it with a summary, right? So do it within the time that you are allocated. If that is 10 minutes, finish it in 10 minutes. Okay. Again, be prepared for the questions. Audience is always ask questions. And again, when a question is asked, don't be panic. If you want the support of the slide, you can go back to the slide and show. If we ask what is the methodology, what is the sample size of yours, then you can quickly go back to the slide and say, this is the sample of size, this is what I'm going to do. Like that you can explain. That is okay. But what happens normally when you ask question, the student get panics and forget everything. Don't be that person, right? Okay, next children, as a summary in my presentation here today. So before you start preparing your talk, please plan your talk, prepare for it very well. Find the pronunciations of the word in your slides. Don't do that mistake again, right? Again, check whether all the images, graph, diagrams that you have included in that one are relevant to your presentation. Let's check that whether you have sketched the key points. When you are sketching the key points, children, if you have pasted some text into the slide, you can use different color to highlight the key points in the text content. If you want to paste the entire paragraph there, that if that is necessary, then paste the paragraph and highlight the key points using a different color, right? Again, organize your content as a story. That's really important. Use appropriate visual aids. Appropriate means do not overload your slide with visuals. Use them if only that you want them. Rehearse means practice before you do. Then you can give the talk very efficiently. Right, children, that is what I want to share with you today in the workshop. So we discuss how we can use AI tools ethically in your presentation. Again, I'm mentioning the academic honesty is really important. ඔයා තමන්ට අවංක කෙනෙක් කියන එක තමයි වැදගත් වෙන්නේ. ඒක අනිත් අයට හොයන්න බැරි වෙන්න පුළුවන්, අනිත් අය රැවටෙන්න පුළුවන්. But your conscious knows that you are a guilty person if you do so. Then don't be dishonest. Try AI, improve the AI using skill. AI use කරන skill එක අනිවාර්යෙන් හදාගන්න. මොකද ඔයාලට හෙට දවසේ අනිවාර්යෙන්ම AI use කරන්නම වෙනවා. එහෙම සමාජයකට අපි යන්නේ. Therefore, every time use AI, how to write prompts, how to ask questions, like that, practice everything. And again, doing presentations is that really important. In future, you have to do a lot of presentations. Therefore, your presentation skills are really important. Even you are facing an interview, that's important. That means you are presenting yourself there. So then, main tips that I gave you were, don't be a reader, be a presenter. Do not paste all the content in the slide and do not read them, right? Let the content to be in the presentation and we can see that. Do your presentation by yourself and don't overload the slides with a lot of heavy content, and always conscious about the content that you are facing. Format them very well, highlight the important points, use relevant visual aids in your presentation, and practice your presentation every time. Then you can deliver a very good presentation, because your presentation matters. We measure you through the presentation. Therefore, it's really important. A saying by Mark Twain, it usually takes more than 3 weeks to prepare a good impromptu speech, right? So preparation takes time, but that will uplift you to a good position in your presentation. Right, children, that is all that I have to share with you today in our research workshop. Then wish you all the best in your research, and at the end you can do publications and get the maximum out of your research, right? Again, I wish you all the best for your presentation as well. Again, children, the dress matters. So always come with a very nice formal dress, a colorful, nice formal dress. Black and white is not a good color for a presentation. So come with the light, very pleasant color dress to the presentation. That's really important. And again, complete your presentation with the time. is again important, right? Thank you, everyone. Wish you all the best.